What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a Valentine's Day makeup tutorial because I feel like Valentine's Day is one of those times a year where makeup tutorials just blow up on Instagram or on YouTube. Where are we? On YouTube, because everybody's looking for that perfect makeup look for their boo or for whatever your plans are for Valentine's Day. So today I've created this really pretty pink, soft yet sultry and sexy Valentine's Day look. And we're featuring a brand new lip product from Bobbi Brown. This video is not sponsored, but these are like my dream lip products, so I had to show you guys them. So stay tuned to the very end of the tutorial to figure out what this baby is, because let me tell you, you need it in your life. But when I hauled the Pat McGrath palette in a recent Sephora haul, like last month or the month before, you guys were really interested to know how I felt about it and what kind of looks I was going to do with it. So this tutorial is using this Pat McGrath palette, which I know is very, very expensive, but I wanted to use it because first of all, I paid the money for it, so I'm gonna get my use out of it. And second of all, so that I could show you guys what this baby is all about if you're interested in buying it, because that's a lot of money to chalk up and you need some deets. You need to watch some reviews, get your full opinion about it before you cough up that money, you know what I mean? But this tutorial is going to be a lot of fun because not just a lip product, we have a new foundation I'm going to talk about, a new concealer, a new setting powder. We've got a lot of good stuff in this tutorial, so I hope you enjoy it. Make sure that if you haven't already, and if you're new here, that you hit that subscribe button before you leave out. And I love you all, and let's get on with this tutorial. What's up, you guys? So if you can see, my chin is really shiny, and that's because if you follow me on Instagram, then you know I've been having some issues with a chapped ass chin. So right now there's like an eczema cream and some Aquaphor on it, and we will wipe that off when we get to the skin, but I'm hoping none of you have this issue. But we're going to start off with the eyes as we usually do for this tutorial. I'm going to start off by priming. Usually I do this off camera, but I wanted to show you what I'm using to prime because it's the best. If you saw this in my 2018 favorites, then you'll know. This is the JCat All About Base Nude Shadow Primer, and basically I just squirt a little bit of this on my eyelids and then blend it out. I usually like to use a little bit of a brush for it, but it doesn't really matter, just blend it in. It's going to give you a little bit of coverage on your eyes, and it's going to make your eyeshadows just blend so well. And I don't ever set this down with powder, I just leave it as is because it makes all of your eyeshadows blend really nicely and also be like true to pigment. So it's just honestly phenomenal. And you just want to blend it in until it's almost completely dry so that it's not sticky or grabbing onto any extra powder when you do your eyeshadow on top. But I also did want to say, I filled in my brows already. I've been growing out my brows so that they're a little bit bushier. I hope you can see how long they are. But I used two Lime Crime products. This is the Bushy Brow pen, and then this is the Bushy Brow Clear Brow Gel. These are amazing, incredible, love them. For today's look, we're going to be using the Pat McGrath, what is this? This is the Mothership 5 palette. I think it's called like the bronze one. Can't remember the name, but it's very expensive. And I know a lot of you guys, when I hauled this, you guys were interested in seeing what looks I come up with it and how it works and all that stuff. So we're going to be using it today. Also, this color right here, this pinky color, was like calling my name for some Valentine's Day realness. So we're going to get into it. Okay, there's not a color in here that's like a good transition shade for me. They're all a little bit too dark. So I'm just gonna grab my bronzer. This is the Balm Take Home the Bronze bronzer in the shade. Actually, I think they renamed these shades, so I don't know, but it's the lightest one. I'm just gonna take that on like a big fluffy brush and just put this in the upper part of my crease. I've been taking my eyeshadow, like my transition colors, a little bit higher because I realized that I wasn't really utilizing all of my lid space. So I've been kind of bringing it up more towards the brow bone so that I could have more room to work in the crease area. Okay, now with this Morphe M518, I'm gonna take this shade here. It's kind of like a pinky brown shade. And we're gonna take this directly in the crease and kind of buff it and blow it out into that bronzer shade. The bronzer shade is a lot cooler than I expected it to. Like, I don't know, it's a lot cooler of a bronzer tone than I'm used to. So I probably should have picked another one for like my crease shade, but it's all good because we're using more like cool tone pinks. So I guess that works out. You're just gonna blow this out from inner to outer corner. Most of the product focusing on the outer corner so that you can give your eyes a little bit more of like an elongated look, but you do want to just do nice circular motions so that everything is nice and seamless. And you can pack a little bit of extra product on the outer corner as well. Okay, so now with an E25 type brush, I don't think, yeah, this is definitely Sigma E25. I'm gonna go into this gorgeous like eggplant purple shade down here. Oh my god, this is like such a beautiful shade. And I love using purples and pinks in like combination with each other on the eyes because it's like neutral but like not at the same time. So we're gonna pop it on the outer corner and kind of like taper it so that it's like more, it comes more in on your lash line, and then pull it out. Just kind of fan it out a little bit. You don't want to do it like all the way past your eyebrow, but just kind of pull it up and out a little bit to kind of elongate your eye and give you like a little bit of like a cat eye effect. And we're not going to use much of this at all because we don't want it to be like too intense and dark. But isn't that like a beautiful blend? I swear to God, these shadows blend so incredibly together. They're just so easy to work with. Like, you know that Pat McGrath Instagram videos where she's just like swipe and it's a makeup look? That's because these eyeshadows are so incredible and easy to work with. But that's definitely not true. I don't know how they edit those videos to be like swipe and it's a full completed makeup look, but that's Pat for you. The queen, the mother. This is honestly a really simple look, you guys. And you can take a little bit, like just whatever's left on your brush, and kind of bring it into the crease like halfway, just to give yourself like that really faint definition of that darker color. And also a guideline for like when you clean up your lid to put on your lid color. It's just gonna make it a little bit easier. Now I'm just gonna take that same brush with the crease color we used before, and we're just gonna pat that like right over it, kind of on the center of the lid. We're gonna actually clean this up with our eye primer and put the lid color over this. But in terms of blending the lid color into the outer corner, it's gonna make it a little bit easier and transition a little bit nicer. Okay, so now I'm just gonna take a little flat kind of shader brush and our JCat Beauty eye primer, and we're just gonna put a little bit on the back of our hand and use this to kind of cut the crease and clean up our lid to add our eyeshadow for our lid right on top. This is just gonna make your look a little bit cleaner. If you're into a more like blended, blown out look and you don't want it to be as like sharp and crisp, then you can just go ahead and put your eye color on, or your lid color on right on top, and kind of have it look more blended and seamless, which is also a really pretty look. I just kind of like that kind of cut crease look. I think it just makes it look more finished and put together. But if you're not into these sharp lines, then go ahead and do you. Put that lid color on its own. And then when I get towards this end part where it's like kind of meeting with the outer corner colors, I kind of just like angle it so that we can get like a really nice transition over here. And then I do one eye at a time for this kind of step. And then I'll just go in with another flat shader brush and I'll get the lid color, which we're going to be using this beautiful pink one here, which is like such a perfect eyeshadow for Valentine's Day. And we're just basically going to press this right on top of the eye primer. And you can spray this with some Fix Plus if you want. It honestly shows up beautifully and has like a great finish without it. But if you want it to look more foiled rather than more glittery, then go ahead and spritz it. When you get to this edge, you can just kind of pat up and down and it'll help blend it a lot easier. But once you have that eye primer laid down, it makes it so easy. And just literally repeat the same thing on the other side. Mine is a little more difficult on either side because I have two completely different eye shapes, but hopefully you don't have that issue. And then you can go back with your blender brush and just kind of blend the edges between the 2 or 3 colors just to make sure that the blend between them, because they're so different, is nicer. I feel like that was such an easy eye look and we're basically done. You can also go back in the crease, kind of redefine if you feel like you kind of cut it out with that eye primer. Okay, now we're just going to take a little eyeshadow brush and we're going to go into this highlighter shade over here. And we're just going to use this to highlight our brow bone. Ooh, when this shade hits the light, it's so stunning. Okay, now I'm just going to take this eyeliner from Pixie. This is in the shade Black Cocoa. And I'm going to use this in my waterline, or I guess this is my tight line, and then also on the upper lash line to give ourselves a little bit of like a smoky wing. So just tightline your eyes and then go ahead and add a thin layer, a very thin line at the very base of your lash line. It can be as messy as you want it to be, but keep it very thin. And then we're gonna take something like this angled brush here from Eco Tools. And we're basically just going to blend this out and kind of press it in and smoke it out. This is gonna give you a really nice, flirty, sexy, like smoky lash line, and also just define the eyes a lot more than without this. And because it's that Black Cocoa shade, it's gonna blend in with all of the shades we've used on the lid, because it's like a really nice, rich, deep brown, and it's not going to be too harsh like a black. But if you can see the difference between the definition in this eye and this eye, makes a world of a difference. And trust me, it is so much easier than doing a liquid wing. And I usually end up doing one thicker than the other and then having to go back. But I guess that's the case with a regular liquid liner anyway, right? Okay, you guys, now I'm gonna go ahead and do some mascara and lashes. I'm just gonna coat my lashes with this Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir Major Volume Mascara, which I actually really like. And then I'm gonna pop on these Ardell Double Wispies. These are honestly my favorite lashes of all time. They're just so like flirty and pretty, but at the same time like natural and not like too much. They just add the perfect amount of lash to any look. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop these on off camera, and then we'll be back to work on the rest of the face. Okay, lashes are on. I have a feeling this one's gonna pop up, so we're gonna watch it. If you see it pop up, let me know in the comments. But now we are going to gently tap off this excess layer of Aquaphor and eczema cream I have on my chin so that we can put some foundation on. I've been just letting it marinate so that my chin doesn't look atrocious under makeup, but who can really be sure at this point, you know? Yeah, that lash is definitely not secure. Cool. And my lash glue just fell. This is wonderful. Oh wait, that wasn't the lash glue. Okay, we're good. BRB. Okay, I think I've secured the lash. Now that our chin is hopefully moisturized, oh please, pray to God, I'm going to go in with this. Beauty Bakery sent me a little goodie package, which is so sweet of you. Thank you to Beauty Bakery. And this is their Wake and Bake baking oil. So it says gently massage 2 to 3 drops onto clean skin. Allow the baking oil to absorb into skin before applying makeup. So I feel like because of my dry chin, this is the perfect product to use. So 1, 2, 3. And also, I actually thought that this was meant to be mixed in with foundation, but apparently not. Ooh, it smells delicious. It smells like, honestly, it smells like lemon cleaning products, but I ain't mad at it. Ooh, it feels really nice and moisturizing. This is a thumbs up for me. Let's see how our foundation applies over it. And I'm also just going to take a little bit of the NYX Pore Filler and just put this right in this area here, just to fill in my pores and make me look a little bit smoother, because my skin has been atrocious lately, I have to tell ya. There we go, that's a little better. This is ruining my life. I want to say that that baking oil is fully absorbed. Now let's see if my beauty blender's still wet, barely. So we're going to spritz it with a little bit more 6+, and then okay, now the foundation that we're going to be using today is a new favorite of mine. This is the new L'Oreal Infallible Up to 24-Hour Fresh Wear foundation, and this is the only foundation I brought to Paris, and I loved it. Even with all the skin issues I was having, I loved it so much. So I have 2.5 pumps here. The shade I use is 425. I could probably go a shade darker, but I'm pretty damn pale at the moment, so it's working fine for me at the moment. But it is so beautiful on the skin, and it dries down to the nicest like demi-matte finish, and it's not full coverage. It's more of like a medium coverage, but it is really nice and buildable, and I have to say it wears incredibly. Like, it just wears on your skin for such a good amount of time, and also just looks beautiful for the whole day. So I really, really enjoyed it when I was in Paris, and I really wanted to tell you guys about it. So if you haven't seen it in your local drugstore recently, go ahead and check for it. If not, you can get yours on Amazon like I did. It was a little bit cheaper on Amazon than it is in drugstores in New York. So if you live in New York, I highly recommend that. You see, like, it's not going to cover up this monstrosity, but everywhere else it looks pretty good. And then I always apply my foundation around my eyebrows with a brush, just so I don't fuck them up with the Beauty Blender. So far, my chin is looking better than it has in a while. It's not looking the best, but it's looking better. Okay, I'm gonna apply a drop of this directly on top of that blemish, and we're just gonna hope that this does the trick. Ugh, that thing is so annoying. Yeah, my chin is getting better. But I know after I film this video, I have to like immediately slather on that eczema cream again because I'm so over it. And then the only concealer I brought with me to Paris was the matching concealer, the Infallible Full Wear Concealer, and I love this stuff. This is the shade 345 Oatmeal, and it's got a big doe foot applicator similar to like the Too Faced or the Shape Tape, and I really like it. It's not as full coverage as those two. It's more similar to like the Makeup Revolution, but I like it more than the Makeup Revolution one. I will say, like, the wiper in here is really tight, so you have to keep dipping back into it because it takes off a lot of product from the doe foot, but once you get it on, it's good. Will this help? Probably not. It's gonna highlight it. And then Beauty Bakery also sent over their famous, coveted flour baking powder. So this is in the shade Translucent. And we're gonna see what this shit's talking about because you guys know. You know how picky I am about my setting powders. I'm so picky that I basically only use one, and that is the Maybelline Fit Me. So I'm super pumped to hopefully find another one that I love. So let's blend out these creases, dunk it in, and press it in to the skin. Okay, that is definitely more finely milled than the Fit Me, but that doesn't always mean it's a good thing. So let's see. I'm not touching my chin with powder because that will just make things a hot old mess. Oh God, I'm already flaking. That looks really good. I'm gonna obviously have to use it a little bit more to come down to a final verdict, but right now I'm into it. I'm definitely not disappointed. So let's go ahead and bronze up our skin. I'm gonna use the Take Home the Bronze bronzer from the Balm that I used on my eyes. And I wanna try to use a smaller bronzer brush because, I don't know, I feel like maybe I've been going a little ham on bronzer, especially for the winter. Because it's a smaller brush, I'm digging into my pan a lot harder. So maybe don't do that actually, that kind of defeats the purpose. And then I finally pulled out my Kat Von D Shade Light palette for my kit to actually use it myself. So I'm gonna go into this first shade with my Zoeva Luxe Face Paintbrush and just chisel out my cheekbones, give myself some structure, make myself look a little bit more snatched. All that good stuff. Mama's head look a little bit smaller, all that. Maybe some jawline action. And then I'm gonna take this little guy and use this to contour my nose. Kind of like this brush for this. Did Ashley finally figure out the nose contour? I don't know, you guys, what do you think? Am I snatched? Who even knows? Okay, now for blush. This is the only blush I brought to Paris. I brought only one of everything, I swear. And it's Party by Tarte. I think this was like what you get is like your Sephora birthday gift. But it's a really pretty like pinky peach. And it gives you a really nice flush of color because, you know, I'm not the biggest blush person in the world, but sometimes, like especially for Valentine's Day, you want a little bit of pink, you know? And then speaking of a little bit of pink, for highlighter today, we're gonna be using the Bobbi Brown Pink Glow highlighter. This stuff is gorgeous, but I'm actually gonna hit my face with a little bit of Fix Plus first so that my skin is nice and moist and it kind of foils my highlighter. But like literally just a little, I don't want it to be too wet. And then when you put it on your skin, it just applies so much nicer. She's looking cute. She is looking good. Okay, now let's finish up the eyes with a little bit under the lower lash line. This is optional. I actually am thinking of doing a look where I don't do anything under my lash line because like that's a thing, isn't it? But it's not a thing I usually do. So I'm gonna go in with this shade here on this Morphe M507 brush. I'm just going to buff this along the lower lash line. I don't want it to be too smoky. I kind of want a lot of the focus to be on the outer corner. So I'm going to take most of that color on the outer corner and then drag whatever's left in. And then I'm going to take this guy here, this flat definer brush, and go into that purple shade. I'm just going to pop this right at the lash line at the outer corner. Kind of take it like 3/4 of the way in, but focusing most of the color on the outer corner. And that's going to give you a little bit of like a winged effect as well. This look is all about the wing without the wing, you know? And then I'm going to take that same highlighter shade and just pop this on the inner corner, just to brighten up the eyes a little bit. And then to seal the deal, let's just pop some mascara on our lower lashes. Okay, you guys, and now for lips, I have a new product to talk to you guys about, which I'm super excited about because they just sent their big old PR kit, and it's super lit because Bobbi Brown makes some of the best lip products on the market, and now they've created a lip product I feel like was like a dream for me. This is their new crushed liquid lip. By the way, this is not sponsored at all. They did send these to me, but not sponsored at all. This is their crushed liquid lip, and if you guys know me, then you know that the matte liquid lip trend is done for me, like completely done. So I'm pumped that they came out with a gorgeous gorgeous selection of colors of a glossy liquid lip. Like, this is everything your girl has ever dreamed of. So I'm gonna start off with the NYX Suede Lip Liner in Vintage and line my lips, and then we're gonna pop the Bobbi Brown Crushed Liquid Lip in the shade Happy Shake on top for a really beautiful purpley pink look that matches our eyes perfectly. Love that. Okay, and I think just to make it a little bit more nude, this is my favorite of all the shades. This is Lychee Baby, and it's like a really nude, peachy nude. I'm just gonna hot this in the center, just to nuden it up a little, but obviously one is fine. But I'm gonna spritz my face with some Fix Plus to keep all that moisture and the whole look locked in. Ooh, yes. And that is that, you guys. This is the final look. I think this is the perfect look for Valentine's Day because not only is it pretty and girly, but it's also kind of like flirty and sultry and sexy without being too much. It's just the perfect Valentine's Day look for you to show off to your man, or for you to chill at home by yourself, by your damn self, you know, girl? So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure if you haven't already that you go ahead and subscribe to my channel because I make new videos every week and you guys should be part of the fam to enjoy the videos. I love you all so, so much. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Tell me down below in the comments what your favorite memory from Valentine's Day was, whether that's being single or with a boo. Doesn't matter. I know I have good memories of both being single and with a man for Valentine's Day. So it doesn't matter if you got a boo or not, you can still get glam and hang out with your girls, hang out with whoever, because Valentine's Day is about love and we love a lot more people than just a significant other. You know what I mean? So yeah, I love you guys so much. Happy Valentine's Day, and I will see you in my next video.